speakers, you do not need to record it personally. This meeting is being recorded. Kapil and team will share the whole recording with us post this match. Now, second ground rule that I need to check is how many of you actually know about cricket at all? Those who don't know, please raise your hand or the virtual hand. Khushbu, you don't know about cricket at all? Come on. But anyway, not for Khushbu definitely, but especially for Jim and Anna and maybe Alyssa, I will explain this. Cricket is a distant cousin of baseball, let's say, because it has a bat, it has a ball, and it has different arts of bowling. It has different roles for the batters. In a typical cricket match, which can be of a format of a couple of hours, or a match ranging for 8 to 10 hours, or a match ranging for about 8 hours into 5 days, called a test match. So a test 1 day, or a T20, a movie length version of a game of cricket that we usually play in our households over here, because we don't have the stamina to play for whole day. God forbid, 5 days, you would find us in hospital with a drip associated with my hand. So this is where I would perhaps give you a little bit brief about cricket first. Cricket is a game lazy people like me love to play, because after every stroke or after every delivery hold, we can catch our breath. Unlike football, where we have to keep running. And that is why you will find cricket, in my opinion, okay? In my opinion, you will find cricket the most popular game across Indian subcontinent. Because we as people are a little bit lazy, with a little paunch at this and not probably athletic fit body. And those who deny this fact are simply lying. Let me tell you, my favorite position in cricket is a wicket keeper. Just like someone who keeps standing to collect the ball behind the baseball batter, in cricket this role is quite well articulated, because this is the person who centrally controls the game. Sometimes he is the one who advises the bowler about the batsman of the opposition. He is someone who can centrally, from a circular stadium, in the center, when he's standing behind what we call as 3 sticks on either end, we call them wickets. So that person is someone who has a circumference view, a periscope view of the entire proceedings. Of lately, one gentleman named M. a small town boy who eventually became a captain, a World Cup winning captain and multiple laurels winning captain of Indian cricket team, the Man in Blue. He actually redefined this game altogether. And that is why currently the biggest sporting festival, at least in this part of the globe, PL, Indian Premier League, going on. And it is his influence that 4 of 8 captains are wicket keepers. So wicket keeper is one role, which the next time someone asks you, what does he do? Of course, as the name suggests, keeps the wickets. But then, so a big leadership position in the game, my favorite one. Well, I talked about my favorite position. Let me ask this person who will keep the wickets for all of us today. She will actually note down in a periscope view what all have we done good today, what all we can improve in the next match. And this is the VP education of this club, and coincidentally, the general evaluator. So let me invite Joyita, the general evaluator, the wicket keeper of this club, to tell us what all she will, along with her team, guide us upon. Joyita, over to you.
Thank you so much, Anand. What a lovely introduction. And the way you have described my role as well, wicket keeper. Okay. So, team, I will prefer to mention that not Toastmasters, but our cricket team today. So we will start our uh, Toastmaster meeting with various speeches right after some time. But along with that, we will do the evaluation of each of the speeches as well. I have the speakers with me that who will evaluate the speakers. Along with that, I have the tag team members as well, who will help us to conduct each and everything and help us to know if we are managing our time correctly, if we are managing the grammars correctly, if we are managing the ums correctly or not. So for that, I'd like to introduce my tag team members. First, I'd like to call upon Elisa, the timer of today's meeting. Elisa, over to you.
Good morning, Joyeta, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm pretty sure that time is important in cricket. Whether it takes a long time, or a short time, I think time is important in sports. And time is also important in Toastmasters. That's why today I will be presenting the timing cards for each role player. If you're a speaker, you will have 5 to 7 minutes to present your speech. And you will see this card when you get to 5 minutes. 6 minutes, you'll see yellow, and 7 minutes, you'll see red, and you have 30 seconds of grace to finish your speech. Once we get to table topics, I will be sharing the timing cards for table topics as well. This means that if you are a table topic participant, you will see green when you reach 1 minute, which is the minimum, yellow when you reach 1.5 minutes, and red when you reach 2 minutes. And you also have 30 seconds of grace. And if you're the evaluator, you will have 2 minutes, it will be green, 2.5 minutes yellow, and 3 minutes red with 30 seconds of grace. We use this to keep track because time is important in Toastmasters as well as in sports. Thank you, and over to you, Joyeta.
Thank you so much, Alicia. Such a nice way you have explained your role. I hope that team will remember all those pointers you have mentioned and they will incorporate during their speeches. Now, I'd like to call upon our grammarian of the day, Naveen. Over to you, Naveen.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and friends. And my role as a grammarian is to catch the good usage of words, phrases, idioms, metaphors, and I will present my by the end of the meeting. And apart from that, I shall also be giving you a word of the day. And that word of the day, I would like to encourage you to use as much as possible today. So just a second, let me just share my screen for the word of the day. Where is it? Sorry. Yeah, okay, the word of the day today is voracious. VORACIOUS, and it means wanting or devouring great quantities of food as an adjective and having a great eager approach to an activity. For example, I've got a voracious appetite to play cricket, to watch cricket, to learn any new techniques in cricket. So just an example, since I am a voracious reader, I often read 2 or 3 books a day. Unfortunately, teenagers have become consumers of reality television, right? And members in Toastmasters should attend every meeting with a voracious attitude. All right, so let's use this word of the day, and I shall present my report by the end of the meeting today. Thank you, when called upon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Naveen. As Naveen mentioned that we need to put voracious effort to make our meeting successful today. So whenever you will get a chance, you can include the word of the day today so that we can have maximum usage of that word. And we will give you thumbs up for that too. Now, I'd like to call upon our counter of the day. I couldn't see Urfia right now. So who can take this role? Sumit, can you please take this role for today?
Which role?
Our counter.
Yeah, I'll take this role. No problem.
Okay. Can you please explain that role?
Yeah, as our counter of today, I'll note down the filler word that my teams use here in terms of in their speeches. ums, and repeat words like I would be noted down by me, and I will present my report when called upon by the general evaluator towards the end of this meeting.
Thank you so much, Sumit. And this is the spontaneous energy that Sumit has shown, that we don't have our counter present today, but he took this role. This is what our cricket team always do. So whenever it is required. So with this, I'd like to hand over the stage to our team mod of the day, Anand. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam Umpire, Toastmasters. An umpire in cricket is just like that match referee on the ground, or that whistling person who runs behind the ball along with the players in a game of football, the person who shows the yellow cards and the red cards. That is a person over here with many more other responsibilities or things to keep an eye upon. That person is general evaluator. The team will guide us well. One person in her team, in case you noticed, wasn't able to join today, so another replacement joined in. We call these similar situations in cricket as someone who got retired hurt. So our original counter today got retired hurt, and there was a concussion substitute. So the substitute is who takes up a role at the last minute in a team. And you are becoming familiar with cricket terminology, isn't it? Well, it just mimics the real life. Now, what does come to your mind when I say these names? Pele, Maradona, Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, Babe Ruth, Michael Schumacher, Tiger Woods, Roger Federer. What theme comes to your mind? Can someone unmute and tell?
Greats of the game.
Greats of the game, or perhaps the benchmarks of the game, isn't it? Perhaps people who people would like to dream or aspire to become one day. If there was a gold standard in every sports, just like Michael Phelps or Jordan, these are some of the benchmarks, the pillars of those particular games. So in cricket, we have a few benchmarks like them of yesteryears, an all-time great, the greatest batsman of any generation whatsoever. His name is Don. Donald, shortened to Don Bradman, of none other than Jim's home country, Australia. Jim, am I right or am I right? So Don Bradman is considered to be the greatest cricketer of all time. But then, in Don's own words, in modern generation, if one person who mimics the closest to the Don himself is the Indian Sachin Tendulkar. In India, it is often said, and it's a myth, or rather a reflection of reality propagated by marketers, that in India, if cricket is a religion, Sachin is the idol kept in the temple. So Sachin Tendulkar is the favorite cricketer of our next person, evaluator number 1, who will be evaluating the speaker number 1, Amit. So before I call up Amit, let me invite someone whose favorite cricketer is Sachin Tendulkar, the god of cricket, at least in India, okay? Toastmaster Kapil, over to you to read out details, please.
Thank you, Anand. Amit is speaking on a topic life and unpredictability, and the purpose of his speech are: the purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. The purpose of this speech is for the member to present a speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. All the best, Amit, and over to you, Anand.
Thank you so much, Kapil. Amit, may I have you on the stage?
Yes, I'm here.
Let's have a quick audio video check.
I hope I'm audible and visible to everyone.
Yes, you are. Timer, can we launch the timing cards? We would rather keep them on right from the beginning. If there is a gray card, do you have? If not, then we will launch the green card. Can you just launch the card once so that Amit can see them?
I cannot see anything.
Wait, it is getting launched. So this is how you will see the green. Amit, can you
Yeah.
distinguish between the green and yellow and red?
Right.
Okay, great then. Thank you. Timer, you can unshare. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, someone who, if Kapil had the favorite cricketer as Sachin, Amit used to, he was days, he has a new favorite. Who is it, Amit?
Rohit.
Of course, the most successful captain in the Indian Premier League of T20 matches. Rohit Sharma, who rather snatched victory from the jaws of defeat yesterday night itself, almost a certainly lost match, turned around with his captaincy skills and belief in the captains. Quite unpredictable game, wasn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, we have for you today speaker number 1 of the day, Toastmaster Amit, life and unpredictability. Life, unpredictability, Toastmaster Amit.
Good morning, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. Life is like one long road trip. I graduated back in 2015, after which my first car selected me, and I was about to embark upon the single longest road trip of my life. My father asked me to be honest and dedicated to my automobile, and it would be reciprocated in long-lasting miles on the highway called life. 3 years and a few upgrades later, I decided it was time to switch my car and get something faster and meaner. I did, only to eventually find that this fast and mean machine didn't drive on the kind of roads I wanted to drive it on. This made me contemplate for some time, and as soon as I was offered an alternate ride, I pounced upon it. Back in a familiar environment, back to the game I relish, I started enjoying my drive a lot more. The new vehicle I was offered wasn't considerably faster or mightier than the last one. Boy, oh boy, the roads and my mates for this vehicle were absolutely amazing. But for all the glitz and glamour of this fast life, this was a particularly attention-seeking vehicle and did not come with any book on how to troubleshoot. I tried treading along the safest routes and some of my most attentive drives. Unfortunately, the vehicle somehow always seemed to break down. After numerous sleepless nights, being at work for hours together, I decided to finally seek work-life balance and found myself a new job. Having worked in a few organizations, exit formalities, as I understood, were just mandatory processes taken care of by the human resources of any organization. And additional requirements were just a phone call or an email away on either side. Considering startups worked more on trust and less on processes, I always assumed that any requirement would just be a phone call away. Little did I know that I'll be up for an uncertain, rocky ride suddenly, wherein my trustworthy startup would suddenly take a vengeful persona and want to spoil my future. My smooth sailing career now turned into a human resources nightmare, where once I was a voracious young man just talking about scaling new heights and now facing an existential crisis. The honest guy that getting the work done, I was now being questioned. Did you run away from your previous company? That is, in short, what's been happening with me over the course of last 1 month. Why I've been exactly 0 meetings over the set period. I resigned, I served my notice period, turned down retention offers, and now I'm facing a vengeful ex-employer. Life is funny. My seemingly harmless decision of a harmless professional decision to join a new company had not gone down well with my previous employer, and he's taken it personally. From spending sleepless nights at work for his or our company as I found it back then, to now being entangled in a with my previous employer, my relieving letter and my settlement dues. Life has taken a rather curious turn for me. That brings me to the conclusion for today. I was always identified as a happy-go-lucky person who took things in stride and was willing to take risks, head down paths that were generally not taken. For people who know me, know the fact that I have a huge risk appetite. What the situation has thrown me into is completely different. Life is unpredictable. It can change like weather. And what do you do when the weather changes? You dress accordingly. You don't waste time wishing for better weather because it will be back soon enough. So, what do you do when life changes so unexpectedly? You take a deep breath, think positively, and just keep living. Thank you.
A speech well delivered. You were a fantastic batsman in this segment today. So thank you so much, Amit. Ladies and gentlemen, please take 1 minute of silence to provide a personal feedback in a personal window through Zoom to Speaker Amit. Timer, please show me a signal at 1 minute, either a verbal or a timing card signal. Meanwhile, Madam General Evaluator, please note that Evaluator 2 has not joined, as far as I recall, and you might have to take it up on yourself.
Yeah, we have managed to find out one evaluator. Ashok will be doing that. I have shared the objective of Khushbu.
Excellent.
Right.
I will introduce him. Thank you. Thank you, Elisa. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what we have in cricket over the time is a batsman who usually is not a batsman. He has primarily a role with ball. But then because of his physique or his timing, hand-eye coordination, etc., he or she is launched as a pinch hitter in top of the order, and someone who can bat at any position, an attack or in a defensive role. So I have one such speaker for you who can actually do that. She is a master storyteller and someone who knows how to speak on what stage, whether to adults or to the kids. And to evaluate her, we have another injury substitute, Mr. Ashok. Ashok, Toastmaster Ashok, can we have you on the stage to read out objectives for Khushbu?
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So purpose of this project for Khushbu is to practice developing and presenting a proposal. She is working on this project, and in her speech, she will talk about, she will practice developing and presenting proposal skills for herself. Over to you.
Ashok, please note that Khushbu is attempting a project from Innovative Planning Manual, the path. It is her project from level 3. Timer, please note timing will be 5 to 7 minutes. Khushbu, can we have you spotlighted and a quick audio video check done? I see you are coming up with the backup device, so let me highlight the right device. Okay, Khushbu, can we have a quick audio video check with you? Say something.
You are batting and umpiring very well.
There is a slight friction sound coming from the background. Is it from your? Is it from Naveen's side because he's also on unmute?
It's
Naveen,
from
please mute it.
It's my son making noise.
Okay, no worries. Then you will have to live with it because audience, the crowds, they keep making noise in a stadium. So you will have to perform nonetheless. So ladies and gentlemen, we have a speaker number 2, the batsman number 2, the middle order batsman, Khushbu Chokhani. 3 E's and 3 C's for parents and teachers. 3 E's and 3 C's for parents and teachers. Khushbu.
Time makes you tough and innovative. And this is what this pandemic has reaffirmed me again and again. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Khushbu. And before I begin with my speech, can you please raise your hand if you are a parent of any age child? Then this proposal is for you. According to National Council Bureau of India, the pandemic has brought a sense of fear and insecurity and anxiety and has created short-term and long-term social and mental health implications for children as well as adolescents. Educator and trainer constantly receive requests from parents and teachers on how to deal with aggression and how to make children happy and how to make learning, online learning, engaging, effective. Teachers don't have to shout, please open your video, please open your video. Well, I have only one solution to my parents and my teachers. Tell stories. Tell stories and use from the story world to make learning engaging, effective, entertaining, and with the 4th E, educative. Let us see how we can do it for different age groups. For children below 7 years, use the leverage of child bedtime. You can shape your child's personality by using bedtime stories every day. You can any quality in your child using bedtime stories. How will you do it? Pick a piece of paper, write down all the qualities that you wish to insert in your child. And based on these qualities, pick up stories from the outside world or create stories from within you and tell those stories every day. See the effect of story child. If you are a teacher, you can use stories to teach anything to the children in the classroom, and kindergarten teachers have been doing it since ages. For example, if they have to teach the fingers how to do it, let's see. 2 fat gentlemen met in a lane. They bowed most politely and they bowed once again. How do you do? How do you do? How do you do? Again. This is how you can introduce every finger of the hand with a story, a short story. Children love stories, but if your child is between 8 to 12 years, you can continue with the tradition of telling bedtime stories if you are a parent, or choose stories around their current thought processes. If you are a teacher, you can curate stories and activities on all subjects, be it English, math, or any social science subject using stories. And most importantly, you use the popular Indian literature Panchatantra and introduce the human dynamics, human interaction, human qualities to children in the form of animals, where Panchatantra depicts every animal human quality. If your child is above 13 years old, you can tell them your personal stories. Stories about your failure, stories about your success. Communicate using stories and solve their present challenges. Be their best friend using stories. This is the most trickiest stage, and this is where you can actually help them to build an effective storytelling capability by constantly communicating them through stories. Teach them how to be an effective using stories. When you tell them stories, you can convey anything you feel like, and difficult topics where you just cannot talk openly and direct. You can use the medium of stories. For example, recently, I was speaking to my 16-year-old who was not waking up on time. And I told him my personal story, how I have wasted literally 10 years of my life by sleeping, oversleeping, and learning important skills right now at the age of 35, which I could have learned when I was 16 years old. And this story triggered something in him. The stories trigger changes. And this leverage of stories, you can use it at point of time. The crux of the whole proposal is that try to bring storytelling activity in your home or classroom and create an environment of connection, compassion, and loving communication with your child or your students with stories that are engaging, entertaining, and educative. Because words are the most powerful tools. And it's on you as a parent or teacher how to use that power effectively. Words that make stories can either build you or break you. The choice is yours on how to use them effectively. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Khushbu. The part of your speech was the kid making faces background. For me, that was the most important part because the kid really took it to the next level, as if judging your speech. Well, they were doing part, but as of now, let me ask the audience members to judge the speech in their own capacity and provide one commendation, one recommendation, maybe in next 1 minute in a private chat to Khushbu. So, ladies and gentlemen, please do that. Timer will be a signal around next 45 seconds or so. Meanwhile, if you're wondering why I'm batting outside in my porch, than inside in a room, sitting maybe like Kapil with a virtual background, that is because inside my little young one, 2-month-old became yesterday, so he's batting inside. And when he's making a noise, no other crowd can compensate for that. So that's why we have to bat out there in the sun. Khushbu, what's the name of your son?
Advik.
Advik. Hey, Advik. Good performance. Next time you are up for a table topic. Ladies and gentlemen, I spoke about Sachin Tendulkar. Almost every Indian, in fact, he has been conferred with the highest civilian award that Government of India, the Republic of India, confers on a civilian, Bharat. Such is his stature in India. But then on the cricket ground, even if we consider him as the idol, the god, even the god in a temple needs protection. And those walls provide him that protection. In the cricketing parlance, when even the mighty god was defeated, there was one person who stood on the ground every single time, come what may. He was the last line of defense. He has always been the silent warrior, the unsung hero of Indian cricket team. The team needed him to keep wickets, he did that. Open the batting, he did that. Come down in the lower down the order, he did that. Other than making him ball, which he could not, they made him do every single thing. And even after retirement, this gentleman is nurturing the future of Indian cricket in the under 19 and India A academies. The coach, the mentor, the cricketing legend, but the unsung hero, Rahul Dravid. Why did I give the introduction like that? Because I agree with Rupinder. The next role player, the third evaluator, quite mimics these qualities. Isn't it? Don't you agree? Don't you agree? So the evaluator number 3, Anna, is someone who does all of that for this club and many other clubs, and she will do so, do the same today as well by evaluating our fantastic speaker number 3. So Anna, can I have you on the stage to read out the objectives for Jim Van?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. All right, this morning for you all, Jim will be speaking for us. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice writing a speech with an emphasis on adding language to increase interest and impact. We will be listening for descriptive words, literary elements such as a plot and setting, and think about the story the speaker is telling. Even in an informational speech, are we engaged or interested? Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Anna. And Jim, can I have you on the stage before I actually introduce and hand over to you?
Yeah, just
Jim, spotlighting you. Speak maybe a longer sentence. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
I like hockey, field hockey.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, about Jim a little. He also doesn't know much about cricket. But then, the kind of person that he is omnipresent. I see him in so many clubs moving around, and kind of that league player who participates in multiple leagues around the world. And he is someone who I have come to appreciate a lot because he imparts suggestions, advices, wisdoms wherever he, and all of them probably in a sense that nobody dislikes them. Everybody finds some value in them. So one such person in cricket is always the commentators, those who come, enjoy, cherish the game, but then they impart some worldly wisdom wherever they discuss it. Rupinder, Roli, and I all three agree that Jim quite reflects the looks and appearance of one of the most legendary commentator of all time, the presenters of the game, Sir Richie Benaud. So Richie Benaud is considered to be the gold standard in the world of commentary. Jim, it is our esteemed privilege that Rupinder and Roli and everyone considers you the same. Right now, we look forward to hear from you the speech from I don't know which path and which project, but then I'm sure this is a speech about flip-flops. So, ladies and gentlemen, speaker number 3, Jim, flip-flop. Flip-flop, Jim.
Clunk, glug, 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 glug. Watched with devilish delight. Black river of soda flowed across the table and thunderously off the end like the mighty Niagara Falls. Below, a sea of shoes. I wonder which lucky pair will collect this sticky, gooey mess. I was 10, about to go home after a sleepover. I saw that can of Coke on the table, and I just knew someone would knock it over. The Coke wouldn't find my shoes because I had put them upside down in the corner behind the front door. Not even dust could get into it. And the winner is my shoes. Auntie Esther, the table turned black. My shoes turned black. My face turned gray. Jim, are you okay? It's only Coke. I don't feel well, Auntie. Auntie Esther washed my shoes and returned them wet and sticky. When I put them on, squidge, squidge, squidge. How can I go home in these? What do you do when your world caves in? Mom, my shoes. As always, Mum had words of wisdom for me. She said, ask Auntie for a pair of flip-flops to get home with. But how can I ask? She's a grown-up. What if she says no? I've always found it hard to ask for help. I have this fear of rejection. Flip-flops. Should I flip and ask? Or should I flop and get nowhere? Mum had the answer. She said, no ask, no get. If you don't ask for something, you won't get it. No ask, no get. Auntie, that day I flipped and I didn't flop. But wait, there was another problem. Flops were huge, like tennis rackets. I felt like a giant duck flapping around with big wet feet. I felt another flip-flop moment coming. Should I look at Auntie with sad eyes and ask for more? Should I flip or should I flop? I decided to ask for more. Auntie, that day when I got home, I went into the kitchen. Mom, guess what? Not only did I get the flip-flops, but Auntie drove me all the way back home. That's great. Now come in, help me knead the dough. Ever since age, that smell, that aroma of bread takes me home. And all these years, I've been trying to get the perfect bread like Mum used to make. What is it that takes bakers so long to perfect? I followed countless recipes exactly and get nowhere. Here in Australia, the best bread that comes close to my mum's bread comes from a tiny bakery, a 100-year-old bakery in the middle of nowhere. It was a wet, windy winter's day when I finally decided to just ask for the recipe. I drove the 2 hours there and I found the bakery with tourists. How are there tourists in this? How am I going to ask for the recipe in this crowd? I felt another flip-flop moment coming. Should I flip my mindset and ask, or should I flop and get nowhere? If I ask them, they'll say, can't you see the crowds in here? Can't you see we're busy? Can't you see your way out? Why ask for something and risk getting a no? I flopped. I leave and head to the car. And smell. I follow the smell around to the back of the bakery. As the light got dimmer, scary thoughts of rejection came thick and fast. What if these bakers are huge, angry, with tattoos and long beards? They're just going to laugh at me and tell me to go away. But that smell, that aroma of home just got stronger and stronger. And my mum's words, no ask, no get, led the charge. Eventually, I find a decent young man in a baker's apron, Bobby the baker. I tell him, hi, I'm Jim. I've come all the way from Hong Kong to find out how you make your bread perfect, batch to batch, crust to crust. No worries, mate. Come on in. Get your apron over here. Let's get started. I expected just a copy of his recipe, but I got so much more. He takes me through the process to feel the dough, to heal the dough and peel the dough. That day I experienced the mysterious resilience of dough. I experienced the mysterious and superior resilience of asking. No ask, no get. I want a simple answer and got so much. What has stopped you from asking? Embarrassment, pride, tourists? No ask, no get has been my key to opening many doors to shortcuts in life. Be brave to ask, and you may get more than you expected. Oh, but be careful. Every time you ask for something, you risk getting a yes. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jim. Now we would like 1 minute of silence and provide personal feedback to Jim. Timer, please show me a red card at 1 minute. Thank you, Elisa. Ladies and gentlemen, there are doers and then there are talkers. Or rather than there are talkers and then there are doers. And we have one such doer among all of us. We may be talking about cricket from a third person's point of view as much as possible, but then there is someone who has played it at a professional level. His favorite players are Mr. Yajwendra from my home state, Rajasthan, and Mr. Diwalkar from Mumbai, one of the most legendary teams across Indian circuit. He has played professional cricket, the Ranji Sports Tournament of India in cricket, in his heydays for the state team of Himachal. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands across for someone who I didn't know was so much all-rounder that aspect as well. I got to, and it is my privilege to invite the table topic master, who will come with a lot of googlies and with a lot of tricky deliveries for all of us to conquer. Toastmaster Saurendra Bhomik. Saurendra, the table topic master. You're on mute.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anand. So we've finally reached the slogovers. In our 20 matches today, we have reached the slogovers. What are the slogovers? Number of balls being bowled to you will be less, but you have to score the maximum in them. And my first batsman is one which we all spoke about, that is Dhoni of today, and that will be Mr. Bharat. Bharat, are you ready to take a question? Your topic. Will you unmute, Bharat? Yeah, thank you. Your question is what MS Dhoni said. He says, you don't play for the crowd, you play for the country. Your topic, you don't play for the crowd, you play for the country. Over to you, Bharat. Go ahead, Bharat.
Okay. I was walking down in my street with a cricket bat in my hands. In those days, that small street outside my house, and all my friends used to gather with the cricket ball. I was always taking big hits, and my neighbors, my God, there was always shouting, "How you broke my window!" My father was sick of complaints everyone was giving. Your son, he's no good. Always spoil all the children on the street and playing cricket all day. One of my friends who was playing cricket with me told me, "Bharat, you have great passion. I also have great passion. Let us go together and learn how to play cricket in a proper cricket stadium." Those days it was not possible, and it was not easy to find. And then, fortunately, in our school, we had a visitor, Ashish, the bowler, giving us a pep talk on how to be. We were very excited. We were meeting a world-class cricketer for the first time. What will he like? Oh, he bowls a lot and he's a good tail-ender. He hits sixes all the time. Well, we were in awe, and as soon as we saw him and he started, the words came out of his mouth. "Guys, I see passion in you. And if you want to be successful, take this passion for your cricket to your country. Play for your country, and you will really reach heights." Back to you, Bommy, Toastmaster, tabletop master. Thank you.
We are experiencing some internet issues at sorry, perhaps. No worries. Let's give it another few seconds. Sorendra has dropped. So meanwhile, let me take over and give another.
No, Anant, I'm back. It's Murphy's Law at stake. So whenever Murphy's Law hits me bad.
No
so is Bhavna there? Bhavna, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Bhavna, let's see how you hit us out. Shane Warne, the Australian spinner, one of the best you can have on this earth, once said, "Never give up. Just absolutely never give up. Never give up. Just absolutely never give up." Bhavna.
Thank you for giving me this wonderful topic. Never give up. This is something which we have been taught from the very childhood. And this is what I'll be teaching my son. Never ever give up. Whatever happens in your life, you should always be there to dust yourself and rise. Learn from the phoenix. Try to take all the challenges in your stride and get up, get going, because there's always a golden line, and there's always a sun after a dark sky. There's always a sunrise after a dark night. So we should always think a positive situation or a positive outlook in whatever happens, no matter what. we are having unprecedented times. You may have lost your business, you may have lost your job, you may have lost a relation, but there's always a brighter side to it. So I'll give you a small example. I see my son. He started to walk. He'll fall. Always get up. And this is learning a 2-year-old that how he started walking. He started running. That every time he falls, he used to get up and get going, and he used to do that umpteen number of times. So there's always a brighter side to something. Even if you'll fall, you'll have to rise again. Don't get depressed. Don't get disheartened that you have suffered a failure, because it is the number of attempts that matter. It is the practice that matters after all. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Timon.
Thank you for hitting so many 4s and 6s right through. So the run rate improved. Now, may I call our president, Toastmaster Kapil, for enhancing the run rate. We are a little short of the required run rate. So your topic comes from Graham Booch, the English cricketer, once said, the key to any batsman is to play the ball, not the wicket. The key for any batsman is to play the ball, not the wicket. Over to you, Kapil.
This is so very true in our real life. Play the ball. That means take up the challenge. If you are thrown with some challenges, you do not need to duck those balls out. You have to face those challenges, no matter how big those challenges are, considering that the COVID-19. So I'm dealing with a very difficult situation at my home. My father has been under depression since last year because of COVID. Even though COVID-19 got better after September, but he didn't improve. And now when the situation is getting worse again, I don't see any reason that he will improve soon, but I'm not losing my hope. I'm still consulting my online doctors to get him better. Now this is one of the challenge, because I can't lose that hope that he is not going to get better soon, because depression is a thing that don't go away very soon. So facing the challenges, playing the ball is the right strategy. This is the best I can do during this time. And probably, I guess, once this COVID-19 situation gets better, he will also start to feel better. And I really hope so. So over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Kapil. So now let me call on, since we are almost at the end of the innings and the run rate is still very high, let me call in our all-rounder of the day, our Toastmaster of the day, Anant. Anant, your question. Henry Wahlfield, who was a very famous cricket writer, once said, one-day cricket is an exhibition. Test cricket is an exhibition. He said, one-day cricket is an exhibition. Test cricket is an examination. Over to you, Toastmaster Anant.
I think, Toastmaster Saurendra, this topic somewhere in a very veiled attempt points towards the difference between a short-term burst versus a long-term consistency. So many of times in our daily lives, in our professional and personal lives, we pick something up, we like it to our heart, but after a few days, the disenchantment happens and we just lose interest and move on to something next. And then rinse, repeat, the cycle goes on. I have had so many things in my life that I have done the same thing too, and I'm sure same is the case with you all as well. But there is one thing that despite all the distractions, I did not discontinue. I went there for the long way. In fact, this June, I'm completing 10 years with it. That is Toastmasters itself. And my first ever job, immediately after graduation in 2000, I was exposed to this concept called Toastmasters, where a lot of happy-go-lucky people were just self-applauding, even for no apparent reason whatsoever. I just kind of like the vibes over there. And I went in the room. But then, even after becoming member in June 2011, it wasn't until 2013, mid 2013, that I delivered my icebreaker. So in between then 2 years, and then after so many times later on as well, career change, job change, etc., I had the reason to discontinue, but I just didn't, because I knew I may be slow, but if I am in there for the long game, if I am in there for the test match, I will improve myself in one way or the other. So for me, I think at least in Toastmasters, this quote, this adage works, that one day cricket is just an exhibition. A short-term burst is there for temporary glory. But if you really want to make a meaningful change in lives, go for the test match, go for the long game. Over to you, Sarindra.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I still have exactly 4 minutes. I have the last topic. Can anyone actually say who would like to take on this? Any of you, quickly.
Ashok
okay,
says
Ashok.
yes.
Ashok for you. Ashok for you.
Yes, sir.
This is a $1 million question floating around all around. Who is a better captain? MS Dhoni or Virat Kohli? Who is a better captain? MS Dhoni or Virat Kohli? Over to you, Ashok.
Thank you, Sharan sir. Thanks for this brilliant topic. And really, this is a $1 million question because everyone is looking for that. But if you ask me, really, I would give this credit to Dhoni, because MS Dhoni came in the Indian cricket at a time when we just learning winning after Saurabh Ganguly phase. He taught us the aggression, but that aggression was not converted to so many wins by that time. When Dhoni came, he told us the strategy, he told us the aggression, and he is a person who nurtured so many young talented cricketers who later on became captain, and all they carry the responsibilities. So definitely Virat Kohli is very consistent, he is performing really well, but he is a person who got nurtured under the supervision of MS Dhoni, and he is a big contributor for his success. MS Dhoni is a person, one day I was in a street and I was talking to a rickshaw puller. And that was the era of MS Dhoni. And his exact words were, MS Dhoni is a person, if he will touch this rickshaw, he will convert it into the gold. That was the charisma he has created, and this was the acceptability all across he has. Maybe over the period of time, Virat Kohli will supersede MS Dhoni in terms of wins, in terms of runs, but definitely MS Dhoni will be the star. A star not only for our generation, forever. Over to you, Sharan sir.
Thank you. So the slug overs are over and the last ball decision has happened. One team has won. Now it is the time for the commentators to give their opinion and to hand over the man of the match awards, the best bowler, the best fielder, and the various of. So now may I give over this mic to our referee of the day and the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Anath, to take it forward.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sarindra. I request Kapil, the presiding officer, to keep the polls ready. We will probably launch them towards the end if he has not prepared the table topics. If you have, then we can launch them right now. So can you please confirm?
I've not tried polling it before, Anant.
Okay.
Do you want me to give you the host access? If you
No,
try,
worry
or-
not. You try it out, or you pass it
Okay.
on to Soilendra sir. So he and you can do it together. And meanwhile, I will just transition to our final section. But before that, I have one more thing to share with all of you, a quick thing. And that is few names or a few countries which are famous for a few names in the world of cricket. You have heard about many of the Indian cricketers, but I don't want you to leave with just that impression. There are so many modern, at least whom I have seen growing up and idolized. I myself am a left-hand batsman, so I like left-hand batsmen for their elegance, for their charisma, starting with Brian Lara of West Indies to Yuvraj Singh of India to Sourav Ganguly, of course, the Maverick captain. But then there are Pakistanis who are famous for their reverse swing, Wasim Akrams and the Houses. And then there are Shoaib Akhtars, of course. Likewise, Netherlands is famous for the legendary players like Martin Crowe and current brilliant genius of Kane Williamson. Then there are, of course, teams like South Africa who have gone through turmoil, produced a modern, perfect cricketer like Jack Callis, the perfect bowler and the batsman. And last but not the least, England and Australia. While England have had their ups and downs, in between they have sparkled brightly with Kevin Petersons and the Alastair Cooks, and currently with Joe Root. In fact, Asia's rivalry between Australia and New Zealand and the Indian rivalry, and in modern days, there are a few new rivalries which sprung up. So cricket is famous for these little tidbits. If I have to give you one single piece of advice, what's there for you to learn? Well, you watch cricket for at least that moments where everything is all but lost. But then their hero, the hero rises, snatches the victory from the jaws of defeat, and in sometime in a very comical situations, just like often it happens in the case of Pakistan, snatches the defeat, the jaws of victory. It happens all in the game of cricket, and the fun of it. I will reveal my all-time favorite cricketer after the general evaluation session to close the theme. But for now, time for us to hear the umpires, the match referees on knowing where we stand and what can we do. This poll is a little outdated, so I will request the poll master to dismiss this poll. We have to change the names. We have 3 speakers, and please correct it and then launch. Meanwhile, I hand it over to Joyita. Joyita, citing you, and please provide us the match report.
Thank you so much. I'm very proud today that after a long time, I have again joined Toastmaster Club meeting because personal challenges. It refreshed my mind, and especially I'm very happy to do this general evaluator role today. So I'd like to call upon first our first evaluator of the day, Kapil Kakkar, uh, to explain the role. Not role, you can explain the evaluation.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator Joyita. Great speech, Amit. I really liked the way you spoke. I have few pointers, so let's begin with the first part where you did well. I really find the content of your speech very good. You narrated it very well, and this gives me a confidence that you can be a great storyteller. One parameter that I have for speakers who are relatively new in Toastmasters is how much speaker was at ease and relaxed while delivering speech. And you scored 100 out of 100 in this space. You were very confident, you were calm, relaxed, no breath sounds were there. So well done on that part. And I also like the usage of some good vocabularies in your speech. And I'm sure grammarian will talk about them in his speech. So well done, Amit. I have few recommendations from my side. One of the recommendation that I have for you is, it appeared to me that you were taking some references from your notes bit too much. And that resulted in losing eye contact with the audience consistently. And when you are taking references from notes, or if you are reading from your notes, it affects other parameter also. Like it will drastically reduce your R counts, right? So it is a tough job for an R counter to count your R's if you are reading or if you are taking references from your notes. So just be mindful of this. Second recommendation that I have is, try using hand gestures while delivering speech. It will definitely add some spark in your speech. And the third point that I noticed, I found the placement of your laptop was lower than your eye level. So it appeared to me that you were looking down like this, and you were not able to maintain eye contact consistently with the audience because of the placement of the laptop. So I would encourage you to have a laptop at the right eye level so that you can maintain a right eye contact with the audience. So all in all, Amit, I think it was a great attempt considering that it was your second speech in the club. Just if you can improve upon your hand gestures and if you can place your laptops at your eye level, and third, as I mentioned, that just try using your notes for some small thing. Just don't try to read out. Then of course it will take your speech to next level, Amit. Well done, Amit. Over to you, Timo Dana.
Thank you so much,
Joyita,
Kapil.
sorry.
Yeah. Now I'd like to call up on the stage Ashok to present your evaluation.
Thank you, Joyita. So this is the first evaluation I have done in Toastmasters Club. So please forgive me if I'm not good in that. Khushbu, I'm already a fan. I have attended multiple presentations by you, and I'm already of your storytelling skills. So like a cricketer, you started really well. Like Sehwag used to come and hit on the first ball. The way you started really well with a question which actually increased the participation, and everyone was attentive and question who all are the parents in this group. So that was really good. Content wise, if I talk about, your content was really good. You gave statistics, like you spoke about Council of India, which provided certain stats. That ways you made your content very convincing with the statistics you provided. Voice modulation was really good. It was not monotonous. You used your hands really well. Your was really good, and your voice modulation, your eyes speak. So that ways you were able to keep the entire audience very engaging. Body language, your eye contact was really good. Your hand gesture and your positioning of camera was also good, so that we can see straight into you can also see in the straight in the eyes. Overall, this was a really good speech, and I don't think it was intentional that your son came in between, but you managed that really well. That didn't distracted your pace, that didn't distracted your voice speed. So that ways you handled that situation really well. So it was a very good speech. I personally found it really good. Only recommendation I have is it's about the content that towards the end you summed up, and initially when you spoke about those 4 E's and 3 C's. So if you could have reiterated for the interest of audience. Overall, really good speech. Thank you, Khushbu. And over to you, Joyita.
Thank you so much, Ashok, for a wonderful evaluation. Now I'd like to call upon Anna to present your evaluation.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Jim flip-flops. I was so excited when I saw the title because I am a sandals woman and I absolutely have sandals sitting by my door at all times. But I do believe from now on I will keep them flipped over so that in case any soda fall, they will be protected. So I appreciate that. So let's talk about some great things that happened. I love the fact that you tested your sound, your movement, all of that ahead of time. That really shows functionality and makes sure an audience is going to be able to understand and hear you clearly. So absolutely great job. You were wonderful with your gestures. You were away from the camera far enough that we could see them and understand them, and you used them to your benefit the entire speech. So fantastic job. You have a clear, concise plot line. You were along, we followed you the entire way, and you had different vocal variations to kind of allow us to understand what was happening. The visual verbiage also used at times when you were talking about the flip-flop, being a tennis racket, I believe you said. Super hilarious. I thought it was great. The other thing was the challenge that you gave us. What is it that keeps you from asking? Kind of gave us that sideways glance and you changed for directions. So what keeps you from asking? Embarrassment or tourists? I think there's another one. So on that, I loved that. Here's my challenges. Here's my goals that I want to set for you. One is I am a fan of bread as well, and you created this voracious feeling in my stomach of now I want fresh bread. So I would encourage you to stick with just that one storyline because I felt that that was so much more powerful than having two storylines with both the flip-flop and the bread. So I would encourage you to just stick with one. And of course, I'm partial to bread, so I would do that. And part of the verb used, you described a table at the beginning where the soda was coming off of, and then suddenly there were shoes. So was this by a door? Was this in the kitchen? How did the shoes move? Was there a reason why the shoes moved? It kind of had all these questions in my brain, and that's what I wanted to know. The other thing I want to challenge you on is your vocal variations just a wee bit more. So when you're talking with using someone else's verbiage, like the baker, we could tell the voracious to figure out how to make this bread. But if you would use like a deeper tone for the baker or a higher tone for your aunt or your mother, changing up some of that changes, allows those people to see the emotions, be able to actually hear the changes or the context. Overall, it was it kept my attention. You completely fulfilled all of your purpose and for it. And I was engaged the entire time. So great job. And invite me to some of your Toastmasters in Australia. I have no problem getting up at 2 a.m. in the morning to be able to come to those. So just let me know when they are. But thank you for letting me come in. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Anna. Now, this is the time to see that how our team members performed throughout this meeting. So for that, I need to take help from auxiliary team members. So first, I'd like to call up on the stage, Elisa, to present your timer report.
Yes, thank you, Joyita. Give me just a second. I'm finished with the timings right here, as I can then share my screen and let you know what the complete time was. Give me just 1 second here. Okay, let's see. I'm going to share my screen and hopefully you all can see what I've got on here. Let's see how this goes. Can everybody see that? So for today, we had as our Toastmaster, he had 5 minutes. He went slightly over with 5:04. We'll give him grace. We know he was stepping in. He did a fantastic job. Joyeta as GE, you went a little bit over with 534 and introducing all the role players, but not. And then I believe everybody was well within time. I want to congratulate each person who participated. Amit with 456, Khushbu with 526, Jim with 715, Bharat 227, Bhavna 153, Kapil 130, Anant 210, Ashok 158, Kapil 253, Ashok 225, and Anna with 3. If I called your name and you were very close to the time limitation, just know that you want to either get to the green, or when you get to the red, try not to get to the very edge of the red. And that way you will be sure to be within time. Having said that, everybody qualified for awards and speaking. So congratulations to everyone. Great job. Time is important for Toastmasters, and it's also for cricket. So it's a good way to practice for both. Thank you. And over to you, General Evaluator Joyeta.
Thank you so much, Alisa. Now I'd like to invite Naveen to present your report.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and now I will be presenting my report for the grammarian, and I will try to be fast because it's my mistake that I forgot to mention the time I take, because I generally like to take 5 minutes for my report, but my bad, I forgot to mention it. So first of all, for Voracious, there were three people who had used it today: Joyeta, me, myself, and Amit Tandon. If I missed anyone, please forgive me, but these are the ones I could catch up on. Now, there were some elements which I may suggest is that, like if someone had said that a speaker who is not speaking, so he had missed who is. Periscope view, ideally it should be periscopic view, to get him better, to help him would be, or recover, would be a better way to manage. Someone said that reference to your notes was too much. So ideally it should be you're highly reliant on your notes. Now we had a lot of great usages of words, phrases, and rhetorical devices, which I would like to mention, but I'll be rushing through it for the time. So for how do you, so there were a lot of hypophoras which were used. How do you, life takes an unpredictable turn, curate stories for all subject. Words are most powerful tools. Words that make stories can build you or break you. The choice is yours. And so this was a rhetorical question asked. Not even a dust could get hypophora, wonderful use of hypophora, no ask, no get. Flip-flops were huge like tennis rackets. To feel the dough, to heal the dough, to kill, a wonderful triad used by Toastmaster Jim. What has stopped you in asking? Embarrassment, pride, a wonderful hypophora again used. The maverick captain, a wonderful way of describing a captain. Now rhetorical devices used. There was an episode which is used to describe he nurtured cricketers. Then there were an enumeration which was used. That is when you describe one point in various different phrases. The life changes unexpectedly. You take a deep breath, think positively, and just keep living. By Toastmaster Amit Tandon. Alliterations used. Words can either build you or break you. Flip-flop, sea of shoes, wet, windy, winter day, glitz and glamour of life. Personification, I pounced upon it. Sleepless nights at work, life is funny. Then there were a lot of anaphoras used today. Life is as important in cricket. Time is important in sports. Time. So time is being used very times at the first word. No ask, no get. Can you see? Can't you see? Can't you way out? Toastmaster. There are talkers and there are doers. You don't play for the crowd. You play for the country. Never give up. Just absolutely never give up. And a lot of others. An analogy: if cricket is a religion in India, Sachin Tendulkar is an Toastmaster Anand. Then there were a lot of metaphors used today because the theme was cricket. So I won't be reading them all out. I'll just display to you. Let us start the match, start the inning, start the toss. Our Dhoni of today, slog overs. So basically, these were all words used to describe something else in a metaphorical manner. All right. So these were the things which I could catch today, and with this, I would like to end my grammarian report. Thank you. Wonderful use of words.
Thank you so much, Anand. So, sorry, Anand. Now, before I move on to, okay, we have our counter report pending. Request present your report first, then we will go for the polling. Sumit, I mute. Yeah.
Sumit, you are not on mute, but we can't well.
Is my screen visible? Right
Yes, now we can listen and see you.
So this is the R counter report today. Amit used 2 R's and one other and one other word with a pause. There was some confusion. This other word came in. Khushbu was good in terms of her count on A and today. Only 2 A and used. Kapil did a very good job of today. Ashok used 10 R's and 2 so evaluation. Anna, I could observe one very short A and one very short R. Anant used 9 R, 1 so, and 1 repeat word. Surendra was perfect. Joyata used 3 R's. I think there were more, but only for Joyata, probably I have given some leeway. I think I did a good job here because I was with initially. Bharat use 1 A and 2 other words. These were 2 slip words I could notice. Bhavna in total used 8 R's and Kapil used 2 R's in his table topic. Anand used 2 R's in his table topic. Ashok used 3 R's table topic. Our grammarian Naveen used R's, and Alisa, you didn't use any R or I probably used few R's. If you can tell me, that would be great. This is my report. Over to you, Joyata.
Thank you so much, Sumit. Before I move on to present my report, I'd request to poll master, please start the polling.
Our counter, right to unshare the screen also. You can close it by going to the top, moving the cursor. You will get a drop down for cancelling. Thank you.
Anand, shall I proceed now or?
Sure. Go ahead.
So, hello everyone once again. So I'm to present my report for today's meeting. So our meeting started on time today. With Boris's effort, you made this meeting successful. Today's meeting is a little bit challenging since the beginning because due to some issues, we had to change our team out. But Anand, who took over this role spontaneously and created a lots of energy in this meeting to make it successful. Thank you so much, Anand, for this. You have not only performed well and you presented most of the informative messages to us, but also you made us energetic and we are totally engaged in this meeting today. Thank you so much. Now, next move on to different table topics speakers. I'd like to start with Bharat, you. So your table topic was you don't play for you play for your country. So here you have started you with your childhood that was really encouraging, because from challenge to success, how you made this possible. And you mentioned one quote here: take passion to your country. This is really important for us, because not only for ourselves, but we have to think that how little bit of it, if we can take our passion to our country. Thank you so much, Bharat, for wonderfully present your topic here. Now I'd like to move on to Bhavna. Your topic was never give up, just absolutely never give up. So here also you mentioned your opinion about it, and you mentioned that how you are teaching this quality of this particular code to your son as well. And you mentioned that there always sunrise after a dark night, that we need to remember always, because without that we cannot move ahead even if there is challenge. Thank you so much, Bhavna, for presenting your topic very nicely. And you mentioned that you cannot uh, so you have mentioned also one thing that I really like, that you are seeing the day-to-day development of your son while he is trying to walk, but he was falling down, but how he again encouraged himself. And that is something encouraged us as well, because I'm also observing my 1.5-year-old kid to do so. Thank you. Now moving on to Kapil, your topic was key for any Batman is to play the ball, not to the wicket. That means the wicket is something we are trying to protect, and the balls are like the challenges, right? So you have also shared your opinion, and you have given very sensitive example of your family as well, where we have learned from you that how you are managing your day-to-day work with the challenges. So always better to playing with the ball is the choice, right? Thank you so much, Kapil. And now moving on to our Timot today, who presented his table topic well. Topic was one day cricket is the exhibition, but test cricket is examination. So unfortunately, we have to do our continue. We have to continue our examination every day, not only in colleges, but in day-to-day life. And there is no teacher. Unfortunately, there is teacher for our test examination. Always we have to face the challenge, and we have to think through that how we can overcome the challenges. So you mentioned that short term and long term, you provided this analogy of this, the test, the one-day cricket and the test cricket. That's very nice and inspiring. Now moving on to our next table topic speaker, Ashok, your topic was who is the better batsman, MS Dhoni or Virat Kohli. So okay, this is true that I can take one analogy here as well, that in our IT profession, we have developers and we have players. Okay, so yeah, as a good developer, Virat Kohli is amazing cricketer, but as a leader, MS Dhoni is much than that. We have seen that example of it, and you have presented that nicely. Thank you so much, Ashok. Now, I'd like to move on to our table topic master, Shaurendra Bhaumik. You have given amazing topics, and with the to recap that how we should be, how our attitude should be in our day-to-day life. It is not only the quotes that we read, but the way you have provided, you have mentioned all the quotes and given to the table topics speakers. That was amazing, and it is very encouraging. Remember that how should be our attitude towards our life. Now, moving on to our evaluation part, where we have three evaluators today, Kapil, Ashok, and Anna. They all of them have followed the CRC approaches, and they have mentioned all those pointers to the speakers well. And they have mentioned not only that where they need to improve, but they also mentioned the things that they have done very nicely. So you all of three have done very good job today. Now moving on to Elisa, who shared the screen to make us understand that how we have managed our time today, and this is very nicely presented, Elisa. Now I'd like to move on to Naveen. So first, after a long time, I have joined this Toastmaster meeting, and first time I'm seeing that way you have presented grammarian report using PPT. That was amazing, because it is not it is difficult to remember all those pointers that where we need to improve, but presentation is always good to remember everything. You have done a very great job today. Now I'd like to move to our counter today, Sumit. So you have done a great job, because first of all, spontaneously you have taken the role and you have helped us to understand that where we can improve in the next meeting. Thank you so much. This is the end of my report, and now I'd like to hand over the stage to Anand. Thank you so much.
Can we have a round of applause for our match referee and all the contest officials, match officials? Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, one most common grammatical mistake in terms of cricket that we do, even the ones who follow cricket a lot that we do, is man who bats, batsman, and not the batman. Batman would be someone else, isn't it? But having said that, in cricket, just like in the Justice League, the world of superheroes, when all the mighty superheroes fall, the one person who stands tall on the ground, even in the face of all the Supermans and Wonder Woman falling, that person is the leader of the pack, the Batman, the backbencher. The person who stands at the last might not be needed in normal situation, but when he is needed, it means everyone else has failed already. On the ground of cricket, my all-time favorite cricketer was one such person, Michael Bevan. Michael Bevan is not so famous, not so rich, not so special cricketer. Even right now, in the world of millions of followers and Twitter and Instagram, etc., he lives quite a normal life, a calm, quiet life. But on the ground of cricket, a few matches where he has been involved in, they were the ones where he showed how to win even the last wicket ending bowler on the other end who can't bat, and this person took it all upon himself and crossed the finish line. Seemingly impossible situations like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us try that level of excellence, that we might not be needed every time, but whenever we are needed, we become the Michael Bevan of our professional teams or our lives. Ben Stokes, yes, a modern finisher, again another left-hander. In India, this role was played by Yuvraj Singh, the World Cup hero. But then again, Michael Bevan was one person who started it all, in my opinion, and that is why highest regards for him. Now, having said that, time to see if today was a trailer, what will be the film next week. And to do that, let me share a poster with you, because in Toastmasters, we love posters, isn't it? So, ladies and gentlemen, here's a poster for the next week meeting. Okay, this is not the poster. This is a poster for today's meeting. So the next week, we have a speech marathon coming. And in this speech marathon, we have 5 batsmen and they will be evaluated by 5 bowlers. And Ruchita, Saurendra, Kapil, Lakshmi, and Anna Whistler, they're all competing or running rather a speech marathon. So aren't you all excited? Well, I am, and I will definitely appear to who will speak the best among these 5 and what variety of topics they will be talking about. So ladies and gentlemen, with that unveil, I hand it over now to the presiding officer to launch one final poll, take audience feedback, and bring this glorious meeting to a close. Your TMOD over and out. You, Kapil Kakkar.
Thank you, Anand. What if you come to know before the final that Sachin Tendulkar is not playing and you have to replace him by some other batsman? Anand, so you replaced our Sachin Tendulkar today and you did a marvelous job. Congratulations, Anand. Okay, while we are taking polls, let me take a quick, or let me take feedback from our guests. Starting with you, Jim. You have been joining after a long time.
Yeah, thanks for having me and letting me do the speech. Yeah, I like the way the theme carried through the whole meeting. Very often I see the theme just at the beginning and then, you know, just anything goes. So this time it was good. And the table topic questions also matched to the theme. It was theme. You could take it up a notch by wearing some gear. Imagine that. Imagine Anand with this big cricket bat, emphasizing, starting the meeting by hitting the cricket bat and closing the meeting. Yeah, the thing. So back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jim. Bhavna.
Yeah, hi Kapil. This was a great meeting. Since last couple of months, I've not been able to attend your club meeting, but I every Tuesday night I say this to myself that I'm going to attend the meeting. But some way or the other, I was not able to due to some personal reasons. So I really enjoyed. I'm not a fan of cricket, but still, there's so much to learn. I loved the way the T-Ward started the session. Then the CTM took over. Lovely speakers, lovely report players, GE, and especially I'm in awe of the grammarian, his report. So it was all in all very good learning for me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Bhavna. Bharat, over to you.
Well, I was stumped when I was asked for the table topic today. In fact, I initially told that I'm here to support you, and I was off and on did not catch the word of the day, but really delighted to be here. I am in Hong Kong, where the language skills, because of the different native language, are challenging, and it is always good to come back to your home country, see such wonderful, use of words, and it is excellent for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bharat. Naveen.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me, and it's always a pleasure to serve Toastmasters globally, wherever you are, whether I'm in Singapore, whether I'm attending a meeting in India or any other place, any other countries, and you always get to grow with each and every meeting you attend. So thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
Thank you, Naveen. Your Garmanian report was awesome.
Thank you.
Rupinder, are you ready with your results?
Yes, presiding officer, I'm ready with the results. Just
Yeah.
share my screen. First of all, shout out to Anant. Thank you very much for this role last minute. I'll just share my screen with you people. Get started. So this is the automated certificate generation for us, and we'll start with the top 3 table topic speaker. Our third best table topic speaker for today was Bhavna Patra. Let's have a round of applause for her. Our second best table topic speaker today was stumped apparently, but still managed to grab the second position. Congratulations, Bharat. And our best table topic speaker today usually tells me at 9:30 that he has a hard stop. I hope he doesn't have one today. Many congratulations, Ashok Sharma. Then let's go to our best speech evaluator. I must say that I was floored by that evaluation, one of the best evaluations that I have seen in a very long time. Great job, Anna Whistler, if you are around. You did say that you were leaving. To the best auxiliary role player, well, the butler did it again in that it was once again the grammarian who won it this time. Many congratulations, Naveen Parwal. And we'll move on to the best. Yeah, sometimes you have a replacement, and sometimes that replacement makes a place for himself in the team, and today was no different. Sachin Tendulkar came out to bat in place of Rahul Dravid. Many congratulations, Anand Kathiaidi or Michael Bevan, whosoever. The best was evaluated evaluator. Flip flop. Many congratulations, Jim won. And with that, I will hand it back to the presiding officer. Thank you very much for being supportive today. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, how are we placed in terms of next week rules? Do we need to take it now, or are we done?
So we need the tag team. What I'm thinking is that by next week, a lot of division contests will be done. So I'm thinking that I'm going to get the best evaluators from each of the divisions, those that want to come. So we'll have 5 for evaluation. I'd like the tag team and the general evaluator to be decided. I'm going to get the evaluators from outside, from the division level winners for evaluators. So
sure.
It'll be an evaluation practice for them. It'll be evaluation practice for me as well.
Yeah.
So I need the tag team and a general evaluator because it's a speech marathon for next week.
Right. Okay. We will figure that out.
I can be.
Okay, Khushbu, I'm entering your name as timer.
Joyita.
Oh, Joyita, sorry.
Khushbu as grammarian, Joyita as time.
Yeah, Khushbu already signed up for grammarian. Joyita.
Okay, I think rest of the rules can be filled up during our WhatsApp conversation.
So you can ask Anu to come in and give. Anshu can be the our counter.
Anshu is the Toastmaster of the day next week.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I beg your pardon.
I need a general evaluator for next week. So we'll see.
Alicia Snyder.
Alicia, general evaluator or our counter? Yours for the taking.
I guess I'll try general evaluator.
Oh,
brilliant.
That is the spirit.
Amit, our counter.
Isn't he getting married? Like
after that. End of. So let him be burdened with some now.
Yeah, he has to.
I take up the counter.
Okay, then our agenda is complete. I will find the evaluators. If I cannot find evaluators, I'll reach out to the members.
And this is to Amit. Amit, are you not inviting all of us?
Yes, I am.
So better send it out.
Better
send it out to us.
So I'll be live streaming, and we can have a Toastmaster meeting right at the time of wedding as well.
And we'll make you this general evaluator, is it?
You do not want that, Amit, because table topics, you do not know how table topics will go.
Can I leave?
No, you will get so.
Thanks, Bharat. I'll see you in the evening.
Thanks, Bharat.
Yes, and invite your friends. Invite your friends. We are a smart customer.
I'm giving a speech in Bharat's
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock today, Bharat. We'll be there. 5 o'clock our time.
And okay, so because there are a few new members there, and I would be looking for some hand holding for some of them. Okay, all the best. See you in the evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I'm going to log off now.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you, everyone. And a lot for helping out.
I have been coached
Thanks,
well.
Anand.
Bye.
Thank you, Anand. Thank you.
Thanks, Anand. All the best to everyone. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.